as you know, I stopped being a Star Wars fan a very long time ago. And the only reason I watched that Obi-Wan show was because it was coming off of the prequels. So, it was something for me to watch because I was wondering how they were going to do this. And so well, I posted the videos. You know that I started off being excited. I was hoping for a great show. And then over time, my reception of the show got even more negative and negative to the point where in the end, I was enraged at how bad the show was. And one thing that's funny to me is that these Star Wars fanboys, they come in talking bullshit. They went on my reviews saying that bullshit to defend the show. Like, there's literally a progression of me liking the show at first and over time hating it. It doesn't get no better than that. But anyways, as for this Acolyte show, it does not surprise me that, well, first let me say it like this. See, I knew that. See, I had high hopes in the Obi-Wan show because, again, it was coming off of the prequels. But all these other shows, I always felt that they were not good. I always felt that they were just going to be trash. And there's a lot of things leading up to the Acolyte that made me feel that way. But firstly, let me include this. I could not get into Mandalorian. I'm sorry. I tried, but it's just I'm not feeling that show. I just wanted to say that. I just don't feel anything for that show. Anyways, as for the Acolyte, see, a lot of things leading up to this show was why I didn't care about it. Like, oh, it's another female protagonist. I was like, okay, whatever. I automatically don't even care. And then going leading up to it, you also hear the Kathleen Kennedy say, I hate how male perception is with female ran show, all that nonsense. It's a little feminist propaganda. And then, you know, the show comes out, and guess what happens? It's all over social media being labeled as woke, all this nonsense, talking about how it's putting Star Wars on its back by going against everything that was written beforehand, and I'm not surprised by any of this. I had absolutely no intention of watching this show, and if I did, it would have been just for the fuck of it because I already knew it was going to be bad. And one thing in particular is that everybody's pissed off because I think it was the episode that just came out. This one, it goes against Anakin's uh, the conceiving of Anakin, where his mom gave birth without a father, and he was born from the forest, some shit like that. I can't remember. But anyways, people people are going nuts about that, and based on what I've seen, I think it's these witches who are lesbians. Don't know why that's even in there, but apparently they can conceive children without fathers, and because of this, that goes, it hits what George Lucas wrote hard. And I'm just wondering how George Lucas is taking all this, by the way. But anyways, like, I had absolutely no intention of watching this show. Like, it's just like Ubisoft. Like, all this is just women ran now. And it's not even just that, they're putting their pride shit in there. Like, I just don't care about any of that. What we used to have with Star Wars was epic shit. Like, episode one, we meet Anakin, all this nonsense, and Qui-Gon gets killed by Darth Maul, but Obi-Wan defeats him. And then episode two, fucking Count Dooku beats Anakin and Obi-Wan, and Yoda runs them out. See, it's shit like that. It's dynamics like that where you have to be aware that the hero can lose. The hero can lose. That's the kind of writing you had with George Lucas shit. The hero could lose, and all this other shit made sense. And then in episode 3, the heroes did lose. Like, they legitimately lost. Episode 4, they were making the comeback. Episode 5, they lost again. Episode 6, it took Darth Vader going back to the light side to defeat the Emperor for the heroes to win again. That's what you call good writing. And now with this shit, it just seems like a lot of the things are just being written just for the fuck of it. Like, I'm going to write it this way because I want it to go this way. And the thing is that, like, this has been going on for way too long, and it's been happening way too much. And one thing I always see is the Star Wars fanboys, they wanna defend this nonsense. Like, this is one idiot. He said he tried to defend the Anakin, the destruction of, if there's anything about this shit, it's that they've been destroying the OG characters. Like, episode 9, literally, it fucks with Anakin's redemption, and this episode that just came out goes against Anakin's birth. And like, it seemed like a lot of these newer the newer shit that's coming out of Star Wars is just fucking with the older characters, especially Luke. They made Luke a fucking fool. But anyways, like, none of this is surprising. We all saw it coming. I mean, at least we all should have saw it coming. Like, I don't care about this show. I never did. I knew what was going to happen. Like, they're not really telling stories anymore. But, as far as it goes, like, there's always still going to be people to defend this garbage. And, one more thing I want to add. See, as I said, I had no intention of watching the show, but, all of a sudden it pops all over social media talking about how woke it is. And I was expecting this because nothing is changing. They keep doing the same shit to the point where it's not even surprising anymore. Like, even if they make another show or a movie, I'm like, oh, they're just going to do the same shit again. At this point, like, I think it's best to just blame Kathleen Kennedy for all this chaos because, again, with George, you had good content. But now, like, we're at this point where, everything is pretty much in shambles now. Like, it's one thing to have good writing, but with bad execution. But it's a whole nother ballpark when you have bad writing with good execution. And I'm not saying that the show had good execution. I'm just saying that the writing is just really fucking bad to the point where it's not about writing stories to, entertain others, but writing stories about what you feel like to yourself. Pretty much just another fucking journal or diary or some shit that's integrated into a show.